What's up everyone, it's Tony here, and welcome to the Yacht Addiction YouTube channel. The super yacht in front of us is a Dodgeo. It's a 115-foot Horizon motor yacht, which was first delivered in 2019. Inside, this yacht features 5 staterooms. Also, the US duty is already paid on this one. It's 115 feet in length, the beam is 25 feet, and it has a draft of 5 feet and 10 inches. And this yacht is presented for sale by Merrill Wood and Associates. And I've actually surprisingly never stepped foot on a Horizon SuperYacht yet. They're pretty popular, so I'm very excited to check this one out. This yacht is a raised pilot house design, and you can somewhat see just how massive this yacht's presence is. It's crazy how big these yachts appear when you actually see them from the side in person. But as we're walking to the back, I'll also put a picture on the screen so you can see what this yacht's profile looks like. We're going to make our way back to the swim platform. As you can see, there is a shade to protect this area, and this is a hydraulic platform. But then you also have direct access to the engine room via this door here. But we will check this out later on in the tour. But I will give you a quick preview. It looks like we have some of the crew cabins back in this area. They're finished really nicely with the teak. But like I said, we'll see the engines later in this tour. For now, we're going to make our way up to the aft deck. And we'll check out the alfresco dining area. And then through these doors, we will enter the main salon. And one thing you'll notice throughout this yacht, you have a theme. They went with so much natural wood as the accent pieces, and I think it looks really good. As you'll see, you have an absolutely massive floor-to-ceiling window. And you have the low couch, so you can really get a lot of natural light with this window. It doesn't block the view. The TV folds down from the ceiling. And in the roof, here's that first example of all of the natural woods that they went with. You're going to see this in every single room all throughout this super yacht. Now continuing forward from the space, I like how we have this bar area that separates the two sections. Forward of this is where we have the formal dining area. Once again, that accent wall continues. And on each side of the dining room, you have these large doors which open up so you can get a fantastic cross breeze through here. And as mentioned, you have the same thing on the other side. And built into this bar area, we have refrigeration, you have a wine fridge, everything you could need. So that's a great use of the space. And then I think we'll head into the galley before we see the owner's suite. It is located on the main deck. So there's a pocket door that separates this area. And then we'll step into the galley. There's a side access door right here. There's a small mess area over here. I'm not sure if there's an additional crew mess down below. I guess we'll see in a moment. But you have a whole wall of your cold storage. There's an island in the middle. And then it's a very commercial setup with all the stainless steel. And then a massive pantry. So heading down this staircase, it does look like there's an even larger crew mess down here. So this is absolutely fantastic. Once again, it's finished very nicely down here with all the wood accents. I'm very impressed with this. This yacht is 115 feet, and that extra 15 feet over the 100-foot mark, it really gives you a lot of extra real estate to play with. Here you can see this is also the laundry room. Then up the hallway, you'll find a couple of the crew cabins. There's one more on this side. And then we have some additional doors. Let's see what we have here. I think this actually leads you over to the guest cabins, so it's very easy for the crew to service these areas. That's always a great feature. And then I think these are just closet doors. So I read in the brochure, this yacht houses up to 6 crew, so that makes sense because we have 2 bunk rooms here. And then we saw the crew room back in the beach club area. I like how the stairs have the accent lighting. It's always nice to see when the crew areas are finished rather nicely. Happy crew is a happy yacht. And back out to the main room. So now we're going to continue forward. As I mentioned before, the owner's suite is located on the main deck. You can see the stairs up to the raised pilot house. And then down, here are the guest cabins. Before we go visit those, there is a day head. And then through this door, you'll find a desk. And then stepping in, I told you before, you're gonna get the natural woods all over this yacht. It looks incredible. You have the full beam of the yacht to play with in this room. And this is just a personal preference. Interior design, it's all about your preference at the end of the day. But I do think it would be fun to incorporate some colors that would really pop, that goes along with all the natural finishes. There's another dressing table over here. But one thing I noticed downstairs, a lot of the bedding, most of it's white, which is fine. If that's what you like, that's what you like. But just me personally, I think I would add a touch of more color to these areas. You can see they have that a little bit over here. I mean, just look at how nice this looks. The blue with the natural accents and then the white. I think if you added maybe some of the accent pillows blue, just something simple, that would really enhance the space. And guys, let me tell you, that is the extent of my interior design skills, so don't ask me for more. Here we can see you have the double vanity. It's a very large ensuite. This is also almost the full width of the yacht, except for the closet we saw just on the other side. But there's a rainfall shower and a bench. And then your toilet, of course, is over on the far side, right over here. And then there is a second walk-in closet. We bypassed it because I wanted to show you the room first, but there's another closet right over here and a built-in safe. So you have plenty of closet space in this owner suite. Now we have 4 more guest cabins to see. Earlier from the crew mess, I showed you that's that door so they can access these areas. So let's start all the way forward and work our way back. Ooh, this is interesting. I wasn't expecting this. It looks like we have a bonus space, so I'm actually going to come back to this. Let's look at the guest cabins first. So I guess we'll start all the way aft. And the same themes continue with all the natural wood. You have your large TV on the wall. Even it's framed in natural wood. Then you have a large ensuite. I believe the other VIP cabin is mirrored to this one. You can see the doors at an angle. And they added a little bit of color with these throw blankets. Maybe if you added some pillows to match. I think at the end of the day, if the only thing you can nitpick on this yacht is, hey, I need a teeny bit more color, I think you're in a pretty great spot on your yacht. So far, I've been very impressed with everything I've seen on this Horizon yacht. Back into the hallway, we have 2 more cabins on either side. It looks like this one has 2 singles as well as a Pullman. And you have the same thing in this room. So it looks like you can actually sleep up to 12 guests, assuming you're going to use the Pullmans. But then also remember we have that bonus space, so that could definitely be a 6th cabin if you wanted to. I always think it is cool when you have a bonus space. Say you have young kids and you want them to have their own small space while you're enjoying the main salon. It's nice to have that separation. Here you can see this room just has the L-shaped seating, as well as the TV mounted. And then this does have its own ensuite, so it could be used as a 6th bonus cabin. But you should always customize your yacht to your needs. And then, I'll just show you. As we saw before, this leads over to the crew mess. And if you're enjoying this Horizon SuperYacht tour thus far, please leave a like on the video. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Any type of engagement you leave, it helps out the channel, so I greatly appreciate it. We're going to continue up the staircase, up to the raised pilot house. And as I mentioned, with 115 feet, you get a little bit of extra real estate to play with. So on some RPH yachts, the bridge is pretty crammed, but not on this one. We have a side door, a pretty large table with the L-shaped seating. Once again, finished with all the natural wood elements. And then here you can see the captain's chair and all of the controls for the super yacht. And there's a sneak peek of the bow area. They made fantastic use of the foredeck space. I was very impressed during my preview walk. We'll see that in a little bit. Actually, I think we'll head there next. We will save the flybridge for a little bit later, which you can, of course, access directly from the bridge. But let's head back downstairs. We will head back outside. And we will wrap around up to the foredeck that I was talking about. On some yachts, they just leave the bow space empty, which that's one of the biggest gripes of mine. I always think you should make use of all the real estate you have on board. And it's a very bright day, so let's adjust this camera. I believe this is a wing station. And then we have the Portuguese bridge. And then check this out, guys. You have the carbon fiber poles with the shades overhead. And then on each side, you have these sloped sun pads. So you can fit a ton of people here. It's the same exact thing on each side. And that continues all the way down. Down the center line, we take a few steps. At the front, you can see the built-in speakers, as well as your bollards. And then all of the anchor kit is tucked away underneath the teak. And you can see a small bench here. And if we turn around, you'll see we have 2 additional tables with some L-shaped seating. Now this is ultra impressive. You get so much real estate to play with out here. I am a big fan of how this is set up. But of course, you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments, as always. Excellent use of the space, in my opinion. And we'll head back down from the opposite direction. Here's that door to the bridge. And currently, at the time of filming, this yacht is listed for sale at just under 10 million. I think it's 9.9. You're certainly getting a lot of yacht for the money, all things considered. Now, of course, I know what you're thinking. $10 million, that is a ton of money. But there are new yachts that are much smaller than this, that are much more expensive. So I think at the end of the day, you have to find that balance. So far, I've been ultra impressed. And this is a much larger flybridge than I was anticipating. We'll start all the way back here with this massive section of U-shaped seating. There are shades overhead. And then you can also see where the hardtop begins. And then in front of us, underneath the hardtop, you have an alfresco dining space. We have another bar section. And then this is more of the business end up here. You have refrigeration and ice makers underneath. We also have this section of the roof that can be retracted back. And then we also have the row of bench seating. I believe the second helm station is right under here. Obviously, you have to remove this massive piece of GRP. Then you also have a sink and a barbecue built right in. And I think the only flaw that I've seen on this yacht, I would have loved to seen a hot tub up here. You definitely have more than enough space. But also at the end of the day, that comes down to personal preference. Maybe you just enjoy going out in the water. But you have a ton of space back here, but this U-shaped seating definitely fills the space nicely. So it is what it is. I can't necessarily ding it because it is personal preference, and you could add one if you wanted to. If you can afford a $10 million yacht, you can certainly afford to add a hot tub. All right, I think we want to go back down. I think we'll go back to the swim platform and then we'll check out the engine room. The staircase is pretty wide heading down here. And as promised, we'll go through this door. It's very easy to open. And it does latch. You'll see that right down here. And it is incredibly clean in here. Props to the crew. I am impressed. And also props to Horizon. You have so much headroom overhead. I honestly think, okay, normally guys, I can reach up and the roof is barely above my head. I literally can't even touch the ceiling. Or my fingers, if I stretch, barely can. And I'm about 5'11", just for reference. So if you're in the low 6-foot range, you could easily stand fully in here. You can see you have a generator right there, your engine, then mirrored on the other side, same exact thing, as well as your water maker. And this yacht comes with a pair of Cat C32 Acert engines, 1600 horsepower each. Your top speed is 17 knots. You can cruise at 12, and I don't have a range estimate on me. I would guess at least 1,000 nautical miles. This is certainly not an ocean crossing capable vessel, but it's not intended to do that. So I'd say at least 1,000, potentially more at displacement speeds. But wow, I must say, I am very impressed. Every single space has been well thought out, well designed, well engineered. Props to Horizon, and props to the crew as well. So if we open this, that's how you unlatch the door. Okay. And then also the bathroom for either day head use or for the crew members back here is right here. Someone was actually, one of the crew members I think was using the restroom, so we're not going to go in there for now. But thank you all so much for watching this tour. Thank you, of course, to Merrillwood and Associates for granting us access on board. I know I'm repeating myself, but I was very impressed with this Horizon. But I want to hear your thoughts, so comment down below. Tell me about your favorite part. Tell me about what you didn't like. Either way, we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great one.